I taught high school science for 20 years. This is the reason why my wife will no longer watch certain kinds of movies with me. Okay, I can be annoying. Ask my friends, okay? Self-knowledge is a good thing. I know I can be annoying, but this is different, which is actually what every annoying person you know in your life, that's what they would tell you, that this is different. But it is, it really is, it really is. Yeah, I think we can all agree that there is such a thing that filmmakers have to take advantage of, is the suspension of disbelief. That, okay, you know something's wrong, but they've got to shorten up the plot to get it into the movie or TV show or whatever. And so sometimes they'll just skip over things and make them simpler, or they'll just make up stupid stuff. Okay, I think that's the case frequently. I mean, this idea of suspension of disbelief just leaves me hanging, guys. No. And if this is a form of poetic license, if it's just a little plastic card, they need to charge a lot more for it, because there's a lot of it going on in TV and movies, okay? How am I supposed to sit still when some of this stupid stuff comes on the screen and not say anything? Which actually I can sit really still and say stuff. So I guess that idea doesn't help. Now take one example. California, in any number of movies, science fiction movies, in California as a state, in the near future, there's going to be some cataclysmic earthquake that's going to slide California off into the Pacific Ocean. Well, hey guys, there's, for some reason, while we were watching one of these movies, it seemed to irritate my wife to some degree that I was explaining that California does not have the kinds of fault lines that would cause the state to slide off into the ocean. It just couldn't happen. Through no fault of my own, as I was explaining this to her out loud in a crowded theater, it seemed like I was embarrassing her for some reason. I don't know, but that's, I couldn't help it. Now, I swear this next one is true. This was very recent. There was a tongue-in-cheek kind of murder mystery comedy / crime show that had the premise that there was nitric acid in ping pong balls, okay? And that some dude got killed from being around too many ping pong balls with all that nitric acid. Oh my gosh. Chemistry was one of the classes I taught the most, and we didn't even have nitric acid on the campus because it's really dangerous, nasty stuff. We didn't even keep it in stock. So the whole idea of there even being nitric acid in ping pong balls just struck me as crazy. It seems like they should have bounced that idea off somebody who knew something about nitric acid and ping pong balls, but who can tell? And then one of my longest time beefs with especially TV shows is DNA sequencing. Where there's some DNA evidence on the crime scene, and they've got to have that analyzed and match it up to something, And it's always that this takes about enough time to run a commercial, maybe 2 minutes or so, and boy, they have the DNA results. I mean, reality, even now, it takes hours at least, or days probably for the most part. And, you know, how they could make this stuff up, I don't know. But somehow my pausing a movie on the TV to explain this to my wife, it seems like I had explained this a few too many times, when she even sees that there's going to be anything related to DNA on a crime show, she's covering her ears and going, nope, 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 like that. So I think I've probably gotten that information across to her, so I feel satisfied. I don't have to say any more. How about liquid nitrogen? Now, they don't have this on as many shows, but I've had, in chemistry, I had plenty of opportunity to play with, demonstrate the physical and chemical properties of liquid nitrogen to my students during a blow stuff up day. We would have that every year. And the stuff that they have on TV, there's there's some safe cracker there, breaking into a bank or something, and like 3 drops of liquid nitrogen will cause them to just tap the combination lock once and the whole thing shatters. I don't know what to say. Still, I wish I had a picture of the look on my wife's face when I had to pause the movie to explain this. It just seemed like it wasn't adding to her movie enjoyment at the time. But it doesn't seem like this is so much of an issue anymore with my wife and I. It seems like we've gotten so busy. Whenever the kind of movie or TV show comes on that, has some science-y stuff in it, seems like my wife's always busy that night or something. So we don't seem to watch too much of those together anymore. I don't know, go figure. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. Please like and subscribe. And in the comments, I have 14 chemistry videos on YouTube from 16, 17 years ago. And if you're really curious, leave me a comment and I'll leave you the address. Okay?